Hey everybody, welcome back to another movie review. Hope you guys have been enjoying the content of the channel as of late. Excuse me if I seem a little distorted and a little dressed up. I'm actually attending just for this one film, the San Diego Film Festival. I've done it a few times in the past. Fun little place. Met some nice people tonight. Weirdo also, I'll just say that. Um, he was like filming stuff as like he would like a social media influencer, but I was coincidentally sitting next to him, and he, I was just trying to make conversation, and I asked him, "Oh, so you work for the festival?" And he's like, no." I was like, "Oh, okay," and he gave me kind of like a dead fish, handshake, and just it's just like, "Oh, okay." So, uh, but um, But speaking of oddness, the film I checked out was Dream Scenario, written and directed by, I forgot the last name, but his first name is Christopher, spelled in a very unique way. And I believe, if I'm taking a guess, this is his directorial debut. Um, Produced also by Ari Aster, which, when that title card came up, I was like, oh, okay, obviously. Um, Starring Nicolas Cage as Paul Matthews, who is a professor at a university. Seems very, he seems to have a very basic life. He has a wife, he has two kids, and what happens is that people start to have dreams about Paul, and it becomes sort of a trendy thing. People start to have very positive like dreams about it, or very, very odd like dreams. He would just be in their dreams, but not necessarily doing anything. And it catches like wildfire. Everybody starts to, have these sort of dreams, and it becomes a huge trend. People want to start talking to Paul, and then this trend starts to become more more intense, and thus the whole fun of it all starts to fade, and it becomes something much more societal wise accepting. So, and that's one of the main points of the movie. Actually, is a lot about making a point on society, and a lot about how people can twist, can twist, information, and how that can turn into something much more maniac and just irrational. Um, and Nick Cage's character is that sound of reason. But to another point of the film, it's also, in looking at Nicolas Cage's character, it greatly emphasizes that of, a person really wanting to be accepted, and really wanting to be, kind of seeking some sort of social life, and seeking um, some sort of life outside of work, or having some ability to move forward in his work. Someone who is just ultimately just kind of stuck, um, and wanting more for himself. Um, and the reason why I took notice to Ari Aster being the producer is because I believe the film is meant to be completely metaphorical, and it reminded me a lot of, in a way, as Beau is Afraid, which is a film that also has to be taken completely metaphorical to understand the structure that the film is playing, because the film is a lot about psychosis, and a lot about, the idea of dreams is all about, psychosis, and they emphasize that point quite a bit throughout the film. And with that, I picked up on the idea fairly quickly that it's meant to be metaphors, and it's meant to, and the whole idea of Nick Cage being this and being that, it's meant to all be metaphorical, and to come back to those points of, how society twists things, ultimately, cancel culture and all these other things that are prominent in our generation, while also leaning on the emotional side and studying the character itself, and how that character navigates through this whole situation, with it really him wanting to, to be seen, and to be ultimately accepted for who he is. Because he's not looking for trends. He's not looking to be a big celebrity sort of thing. Like, there's a good scene, which I believe is in some ways a small bit heavy-handed, which would be my ultimate criticism with the film is that at times I do think it can be a little bit heavy-handed in terms of delivering to emphasize the idea that it is a metaphor. Um, at some points, like I thought how the movie would end was that Nicolas Cage like wakes up, and to kind of really illustrate that this is all meant to be a metaphor and hence meant to be a dream. Um, but there are some points with the visuals, like in the editing, how they kind of like kind of give a perspective of like this is the real world and this is the dream that we're in, or at least the idea. Um, there's a scene where he goes to get an interview for what he believes to be publishing, but for these people, it's just to make him a trend and to make him, a certain thing. And there's like a thing on the back wall that says thoughts, and it's just again trying to, knock knock, trying to get the audience to understand that hey, this is meant to be a metaphor. It's not meant to be taken in a, in a complete structure, a complete, you know, completely straight faced, Um, but in that scene, you also get the idea that he's just an average guy. He just wants to be he just wants his book published, which we find out that the book being published is the movie title, Dream Scenario. Um, he ultimately just wants to progress, just like, for a lot of people, they want to do that. Um, and he adores being seen and all that sort of stuff. And um, I think that thematically speaking, I think that there is a touch of resonance that is there, but ultimately, I think that the navigation of said themes and the way that they're explored, I think is, again, I equate it to Beau is Afraid because I like the approach. I like the fact that it is not, that it's dipping right into this sort of sphere, and it's not playing it in another sort of way. Because I feel like if it was done in a way where it was um, if it was done in another way, I feel like it would not impact as much or be as funny, because this is a very funny movie. I think that it requires a dose of cynicism to find the humor in it. Like there's points, especially as the movie moves on, where I believe that cynicism plays the most in terms of getting the laughs, because there comes a point where I was just laughing a lot, and the theater was silent because again, I think you have to be in that mindset. You have to have a certain level of cynicism to get to understand the humor that it's making, because throughout it's meant to be funny, because at the same time it is also metaphorical. It's making a statement about about the generation, and also about a person's inability to move forward. It's not meant to be taken straight face, because if you take it straight face, you might think of this as just weird, you know. Um, and it's weird by just the fact that yes, it's being played up for metaphors and stuff like that. Like I get it, and with general audiences, yes, they're gonna look at this as kind of a weird thing. But for someone like me, who actually I appreciate Beau is Afraid for what it is, um, I found this to be appealing, and I found it to be engaging. I found Nick Cage to be just great. He's just been on a very good streak as of late with Mandy, Pig. I really loved him in, and I also really admired him in this. I thought he, just really captured that that insecurity that the character Paul bears, um, and I also like the his his humor, which lands. It's not just a performance that works on a dramatic level; it also works on a comedic level. It's a very well-rounded and um, very just a very well done performance. Um, I like the writing. I like that it's again just kind of knocking at you. Like again, my only issue is that I wish that it wasn't as heavy-handed at times with its commentary, and also with just letting the audience know like this is what it is. It's making it kind of obvious that it's meant to be a metaphor. Um, like oh shit, there it goes again. Um, like those are my only quibbles with the film. Um, but I think it was solid. I think that, like, and my only other thing I would say about it is that the fact that me knowing of it being a metaphor as early as I've discovered it to be, um, I, my involvement was there, but I wasn't like completely engrossed by it because I understand ultimately what the movie's up trying to do, structural wise, and just overall by design what it is. Um, so I ultimately still think that it's good. I think that the performance from Nicolas Cage is just very good. I love the just the presentation, this very strategical and just fun atmosphere. Um, it's a really fun and engaging piece that I do believe requires some level of cynicism to really get involved in. Because if you're not that kind of person, then you might just think that this is either A, really weird, or that it's, um, just, not bearing much, you know. But as someone who is cynical to a fault and also has his own views in terms of this generation, I found it to be um, uh, very fun and very enjoyable. I just wish that it wasn't as, um, I just wish that it didn't push on that point so much as to being metaphorical and letting people know of that sort of thing. Um, so, because I picked up on it, I picked up on that idea fairly quickly. So, um, but for what it was a good time, and I found myself enjoying of its company. So yeah. So those are my thoughts on Dream Scenario. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good piece. Not great, but solid. Definitely solid. So you guys should check it out. Honestly, it's good. I think it comes out on November 4th. I think that somewhere in November, in the beginning of the month. Definitely check it out when you guys get a chance to. And yeah, so that's gonna be it for my thought for my for my review, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. If any of you guys saw Dream Scenario, be it at this festival or just in general, if you guys have seen it anywhere, let me know your thoughts about the film in the comment section below. And that's gonna be it for me, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, and until then, I will catch you guys in the next review.